Hello, my good Mac people. So today what we're going to be doing is photo books. Let me dive straight into it. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you guys. So Apple, I think about 3 or 4 years ago, they've done away with the photo book site within Photos. You could actually go and download an extension to it, but it was not part of Apple. It was a third-party option. So at the time we were looking around, and eventually I stumbled on the ORMS Photobook. Strangely enough, ORMS is our neighbor in Roland Street. So it's pretty awesome that we've got a localized distributor that can do this for us. And what makes this Photobook application so good is that it actually syncs with your Photos application. And I'll show you guys all that. So first of all, how to get the app. So if we go to our browser and we go to the, we type in the address ohmsprintroom.co.za, it will take us to the main page. You go to Photobooks. You'll see there's a drop-down menu, and you can go and free software download. It says the new version available, and this is for people who are running Catalina as well. It's now compatible with even Catalina. There are free classes that you can go to that they will take you through as well. And there's also a video tutorial. The video tutorials isn't that thorough when it comes to the designing side, guys, but with the purchasing and the setting up, they cover that quite a bit. So if you click on free software download, then what it will do is it will ask you to sign up, okay? So it will always ask you this even if you have signed up already. So you just go and click on sign up. You put in your email address. There we go. And I'll just put in my first name, my last name, sign up. And after you sign up, it will give you the option to either download the Windows version or the Mac version. You click on there to download the Mac version. I've downloaded it already, so I'm not going to bore you with that. It's about the 350 meg application. So it takes a bit of a while to download, depending on your line speed, of course. There we go. I'm just going to open it to show you guys what it looks like. There we go. So then that folder, you just drag it into your applications folder. And inside of that folder, you'll get a file, which is, there's that folder. In that folder, you get the file called create and print .app. You can double click on it and open it. You can drag it down to your dock. Once it's open, then you can just do a secondary click or a controller click or right click on the mouse and just go options and keep in dock. Then it will stay there for good. Now, after the installation, you can just click on the app to open it. There's still one little process left, right? So once you're on the main screen, it will give you the option to create new project, open existing, view shopping cart. It takes a bit of a loading time. Then you click on create new project because you're starting out. Now, before you get into the project side, guys, first click on check for updates. Because in the updates button, they give you all of your assets, your different tools that you can use, and you select everything, and then you click on the install button, and that will download all the assets and install it into the application. If you don't do that, then the tools that is at your disposal is very limited, okay? Now, after you've done the updates button, then it will take you back into the screen, and now here you are able to start the type of project. So you can see the standard photo books, premier high definition photo books, and so on. There's even calendars and cards that you can build, etc. Now, our focus, of course, is on the photo books today. So now if I go to, I'm just going to go into the standard photo books for now. So if I go into the standard photo books, click on it, click on next. You can also double click on it. And in here, it gives me the option to landscape, portrait, etc. Before you click on any of these items, you can click on information. And here it will give you information in regards to the sizes of the page and so on, personalized. These are the options that you're going to be having. A book comes with a wrapped in tissue paper, etc. So they give you all of that information. We click on close. So if I go, I'm just going to take landscape photo book. And here they give you the different sizes, okay, with the pricing. Now, you can also go into information on these ones, and here they explain to you the type of quality that they're going to give to you in terms of options. You can also see here with the standard book, you can also print on linen, okay, which is pretty awesome, guys. Anyway, so I'm just going to click on close, and I'm going to start. I'm going to go with the A5 landscape personalized hardcover. Now, after going into that, it takes me now to this next panel, and here is where you want to upload your photos. Okay. Now, like I mentioned to you guys, that the cool thing about the create and print, it syncs with your library, right? The previous ones that came prior to Mojave, you had to first export your photos out of Photos and then bring it into the application. So to bring in your photos and to tie it also up with your photos, you click on the little plus, and here they give you the option to add individual picture files or folder containing pictures. These are for people who have the photos sitting not in Photos, but maybe on separate folders. I hope you guys are not using that practice, but if you are, then you will go with this option, okay? Generally, PC or Windows people use this a lot. With us, we can go into individual picture files, and I'll show you guys why. So if I click on individual picture files, it will take me into my Finder window, and at the bottom, you would notice that there is an option called Photos, right? If I click on Photos, it will take me into my Photos library, right? So if I go into my Photos library, I can now click on my different albums and so on, right? The one thing that I quickly want to go into is the fact that you guys would notice that it's a bit difficult to actually go into the photos. I see it's not opening up as yet. Give it a sec. There we go. It's starting to load up now. So these are the albums, or these are the type of photos now that is showing up. But I always tell my clients, look, to make it easier, it's better to first group the photos that you're going to be using in a photo book in a specific album. That makes it easier to actually find. So now in this case, I'm going to go into my photos. Okay, and I'm just going to select the photos that I quickly want to put in an album. So the photos that I'm going to be using is this photos of my friend's wedding that that was taken in Queenstown. So I'm going to select all of those photos. Okay, and now all I do is I go to File, New Album with Selected Items, and they made the album, and I'm going to call it Wedding Queenstown. Done. Okay, cool. So now I'm going to go back into the plus again, add individual files. I'm going to go back to the button, Photos, and it's loading the photos. And now if I go to the bottom, you will notice that I'm just going to expand this. There's Wedding Queenstown. There we go. There they all are. So now I can select those photos, okay, and select. Now they will all be populated into the application, and I can just click on next. And I can give the project a name. I keep it Wedding Queenstown again. I'll give it that name, create. So now it will create my project. Now when I'm in my project, guys, it takes me to my designer window. And in my designer window, it shows all of my photos on the sidebar. at the top panel, it shows me all of my different pages of my book, my main design panel. And at the bottom, I've got all of my other tools that I can use. On the right-hand side, I have additional palettes that I can also work with. And as we go along, I'll show you how this works as well. So first of all, if you notice that I'm on my cover page, and on my cover page, it says back and front cover. And this is now set up as what they would call a spread page, right? So now with a spread page, if I should take any photo, I'm going to take this one here, and I'm going to drag it onto my page, and you will see it will fill up the entire page. That's not actually what I want. So I don't want that type of page. I actually want one and one. So one thing that you guys will also pick up, it shows a number in terms of the photo that I've added on. So it will indicate to you how many times you've used that photo. So I'll just clear that one off for now. And I will add in a back and front. To do that, I just click and I drag it in. And now it's back and front. Now I can use one photo there and another photo there. Okay. Again, that's not the option that I want to go with. I will go with maybe the montage one. So I'll put that on. And yeah, I've got a back cover, front cover. And now I can add into my montage my different photos that I want to add in. And so on. Okay. Just gonna put it in sequence order. Cool. And now I want to put in a front cover. So now I can just drag my photo in. I'm gonna maybe just take a nice one where they are together. There we go. So I'm gonna put this one in. Okay, and you will see that the photo is slightly out of line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to double click on that photo. As soon as I double click on that photo, what happens is it takes me into my cropping screen, and yeah, I can crop it a little bit and put it in frame and just click on OK. That's better. But now also I just don't want the photo right flat bang in the middle. I'm maybe going to put a little bit of a vignette of that photo. So I can now go into my panel on the right. There you can see that I can choose vignette, and not maybe go with a black. I'm going to go with maybe the white, right? And then I can push the size in it. I want it square, so I'm going to change the shape to round. And I'm going to maybe make it a little bit wider, but also maybe just bring down the opacity so it's got like a little fade in, fade out type of flow, and slightly blurred on the frame. Okay, so now I've got my main cover. It's not totally correct yet, because now I still want to maybe add in my text box, you know, to say what this book is all about. So at the bottom of my page options, you would see that there's my different tools. And here I can click on my text box. It will add in my text box there. And I'm just going to drag that text box there, maybe above the heads. And I'm just going to type in, I'm going to call it again, Wedding Queenstown. Okay. And not a nice font and not the right size. That's not a problem. I go to my right hand panel, and there I can click on the T, which looks at my font and my size and so on. So yeah, I can change my font, and I'm gonna go maybe with this one here, and I'm gonna expand the size. That's a bit too big. Let's go with 24, that's better. I'm gonna make it slightly bigger, make it 26. And you will see it gives an error because the box is too small for the font. I can just expand it. And now, you know what I like in the spine, I like to do a spine print as well. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a copy of this. So I right click on there, I copy that, and I'm gonna paste it. Okay, so there I've got another one, and I'm going to turn it. You see there's a little green ball there. at the top there by the font. So, or in the text box, I'm going to turn it. Okay. You will notice that it actually snaps if it reaches 180 degrees or 90-degree angle. And I'm going to drag it into my spine, but I'm going to make it slightly smaller. And I'm going to decrease the font size. Let me first decrease it before I even move it. So I'm going to triple tap on it. Maybe bring it down to, say, 14. That's a bit too small. Let's make it 16. That's better. And I've got a printing for my spine. Okay. Nicely done. All good and well. So now I can move on to the next page. Okay. So some ideas for you guys in terms of how I've now done, put that together quickly. Yeah, okay, so let's go to the next page. Now on the next page, I'm just gonna skip this page for now, guys, because I wanna come back to it. In fact, let me quickly cover this. So, you know, on your first page, what people normally do is they wanna maybe put a little bit of a description in and so on. You wanna type it in. Now you can do exactly the same thing here. You can put in your text box. And with this, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a little something that I got from the internet. So now I can go straight to my browser, and here I've got some lyrics here, and I can download that and actually paste it in. First thing is you cannot take it straight from the internet. A lot of my clients have asked me that. You first need to copy it straight from here. And then you can, from your desktop, move it in. So I'm just gonna quickly do that. Okay, so I'm just gonna drag it straight there onto my desktop, and it will put it into like a text file. And from my text file, I can now take certain parts of it and put it in. So I would take it from there, and I'll copy that, and I'll paste it into my text box. Take that out. Oopsie. I've got so many text boxes here, it's not funny. Okay, there we go. There's my text is in there, and I can now drag it at the top. I can resize it. You can see there's an error in the middle because my text is going over the amount of my text box. So now I've got an idea of how I can move text across from a website to my page. Going to my next page, now I can put in my photos, okay? Now if I go into the next page, I've got this options here at the bottom in terms of a little template that I wanna add in terms of my photo blocks, okay? My photo frames. So I'm gonna start off by putting a single page. I'm gonna drag it into here, and there's my photo frame for that one. And I'm gonna put maybe one in like this in there. Okay, so now I can put in my different photos. I can drag that photo in there, right? Again, it's put it like that. It falls into place. I can take this one here. Okay, you can see that it falls square in the frame. I don't want it like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change my frame size. I'm going to make it like that. We can move it onto the page and so on. So that gives me a little bit more room to work with. Awesome, there I've got it. So that square I just dragged down, and there my photo is correct. Now I can actually add in different types of styles for my page or for my photo itself. If I go to the mask, or sorry, frames, let's start with the frames. I can add in different frames for it. They give you all the different types, and all you do is you just drag that frame on, and then we'll put the frame, just going, it's overlapping there, so there we go. Puts a frame next to it. But you can also do other types of designs with your photo. So say for instance, I take this photo here, and I drag that one in there, and I put that one in there. I can do what they call a mask as well. So if I go to mask, I can do a different effect with my photo. I can put that one in there, and it would looks almost like the photo was painted onto the page. Okay, I'm just gonna resize this one, and I can do the same type of effect with that as well. Alrighty. Now, guys, you would notice that it's on a white page. I don't actually like the whole white page. It looks to me too simple. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my cover and I'm going to give it a nice little background. And I'm just going to go to my backgrounds, and here's different types of backgrounds in different categories. Because I'm looking at the old locomotive train yard that these photos were taken on, I'm going to go with vintage paper. And I can now drag my vintage paper onto the book, and it will fill up the page. Nice little background, I'm happy with it. I'm gonna move on to the next, and I can do the same, maybe a different one, put it on there. With this one, I'm gonna fill up the whole one with a page. And what I do is I don't drag it to the page, I drag it to the middle. And if I drag it to the middle, it does it for both. Okay. So now I can move on to the next one. And here I can now put in, if I go to scrapbook, I can put in different other shapes and so on. There's quite a few of them. So what I'm going to go with, I'm just going to go with words. And let me see what word I can put in. Oh, there, I can put in love. So I drag it in there. Okay. And what I'm going to do is, so you guys can see that everything just works on a drag and drop basis. I'm just drag it there, okay? And I'm going to maybe just put in like a little pattern or something. Yeah, that pattern there, that looks pretty cool. So now I can actually drag that pattern into the middle, maybe stretch it out a little bit more. Cool, there we go. And now I can put in my different images. But instead of me taking my shapes or into my page, if I go to pages style, I'm actually gonna put in my photo frames myself. And to do that, if I go to the top of my menu bar, I can go to insert, picture box, and I can say rectangle, right? I can maybe move it to the side a little bit, you know, to put that style in. I can also put in maybe an oval shape. There we go. Now, the oval shape, I want to make it oval. So one thing you gotta make sure before you change the shape of your circle is to make sure that it's not with constraint with proportions. And if you go to the side here, you would notice under, I'm gonna find a tool here, under the ruler tool, right? You would notice that it mustn't have that ticked. Otherwise, it's gonna stay in proportion. So now I can just stretch that out to make it an oval shape. There we go. I'm maybe gonna do the same type of I'm gonna just straighten this out. Okay, I think I'm gonna do the same thing with my other page. I'm just gonna copy this, hold down my shift key, select both, and I go edit, copy, and I'm just gonna paste it. There we go. And I can move those photo frames into position maybe the same way. Move that one to the top, move that. You will see it actually snaps to the same image on the other side, so you can straighten it quickly, okay? And now I can just drag in my images again. So now I can go in and drag that one in there, and this one in here, and so on. And move my images in. So there is a variety of ways you can customize your pages, right? So guys, after, I'm not going to do all the pages, just giving you the idea of how everything works for the sake of time. So that is how easily you can add in your photos. One thing I just want to quickly emphasize, and I'm over my time, but quickly just want to run into this. You have the ability to edit the photo within within your photo book quickly by going straight into photos without closing the project down. And I want to show you guys this method. If I go to any of these photos, say for instance, let me double click on that one, and I want to make edits on this one, okay? When I select that, right, if I do a secondary click on it, it gives me the option to, and says here, open in external picture editor, right? Now the external picture editor, you will set under your create and print preferences. Now under the create and print preferences, external picture editor, I set as my Photos app. And to do that, I went to select, I went to applications, and in my applications, I'm just going to change my view quickly, list view. And in my applications, I went to photos. There we go. I selected photos, and now that's my external editor. So now if I click on that and I go to open external picture editor, what it will do is it will open photos. Okay, so now I can go into that photo, right? Which one was it again? It was this one, yeah. So now I can double click and I can make edits. So say for instance, I decide, you know what, I actually want to make this into, I'm going to change it in filters. I want to make it into a dramatic cool. Let me just make it into mono so you guys can see the effect. I click on done, I close down, and there you can see it automatically changed to black and white. So once you've added it like that, then it's easy for you to actually customize it without jumping and moving stuff across and so on. Once you're happy with your book, and say for instance you have the minimum amount of pages is about up to 30 pages, or sorry, 28 pages. Now, if you want to preview your book, you can go to preview your book. You click on the play button, and yeah, it will show you what your book will look like. And these are your different pages, page 2, 4 and 5, and so on. I'm just going to close down my editor. And you can also go and do the auto flow. This button here, if you click on auto flow, what your application will do, it will automatically fill the pages up, right? And you can then go and just make your changes on the different pages if you want to. Once you're happy with your project and you're all done and dusted and you want to move on, or you want to purchase your book, you will see that there's a shopping cart here on the right-hand side. You click on the shopping cart, it will give you the errors on your book, okay? You can go and fix it as you go along. Alternatively, you can just, if you're happy with everything, you can just click on continue. Just click on continue. And of course, you're going to ask you to save your project. I'm going to say save. Okay, and here it gives you the pricing of it and so on. I say add to cart. And I'm going to just click on checkout now. And I've read the terms and conditions. I start. So here's the two options. You can order offline, which will basically save your project onto a folder, which you can put on a flash drive and send it to ORMS. Alternatively, you can do the easier way, which is order online. And click on continue. Okay, it's going to come to this window, and to tell you it's going to open the browser. There you can see it opens my browser. I log in. I've already made my username, but you can sign up. But I'm just going to sign in with that. Okay, first of all, create an account. Now, here it gives you the different options you want to choose. Remember that linen page that I told you guys about? So here you can change your personalized hardcover. You can go with the printed cream linen. I actually like that, but I'm not going to select it now because it's going to take a while to actually populate. But here you can see it says the it's extra cost. I can change. I'm just going to click on cancel with that one. You can also change your paper width, or the paper on of which your project is going to be printed on. So you can select the different options there as well. And then you click on continue, put in your shipping and billing details. You can select to ship it to you at an extra cost, okay? Or you can just select the store. So I'm just gonna select store, and yeah, I can just type in, I'm in Belleville, so I'm just gonna go Belleville area. And there we go, it found that ORMS there, and I can select store and I can collect it there and click on continue. Just ask me for my payment details, add in my voucher and so on, confirm the order and click on confirmation. Guys, once you click on confirmation, it will send you an email to confirm your order and everything that you've selected. But don't close down your project, because what happens is it will upload your photo book to ORMS, and they will just do the rest. And I think it takes about 4 or 5 days to a week turnaround time for them to print it, and they do a fantastic job. Okay. So apologies for going over my time. I didn't think that my photos will upload to my cloud storage, but that is my presentation. Any questions, guys?
May I just ask a question?
Sure.
Is it possible to export 1 or 2 pages to PDF?
I've tried that out, Yolanda. What I would suggest, you can do a screenshot of a page, but it doesn't export it as a PDF.
Mm-hmm.
That's to my knowledge now. But what you can do is, I'm just gonna my screen is not shared anymore, but I'll quickly show you. So say for instance, I wanna you can't export it as a PDF. It doesn't give you that option, as you can see, right? But what you can do is you can just do a screenshot of it when you're in, I think you can do it still when you're in preview mode.
Preview mode.
And when you're in preview, you can then just go, you know, the shortcut to do a screenshot, Command-Shift-4,
Yes.
and just do a screenshot of that, and you know, then but you can do it without doing the red, because the red is basically your border for the printing.
Can you do several pages and then save them and go back a week later, or, you know, to continue your book? How would you do that?
Okay, so you can save the project, right? I'm just gonna go back to my screen. So this project is saved, right? But whenever I make a change, so I'm gonna just delete that, and I wanna make that, I wanna save it, just go to File, Save, right? And at any given time, if you just close, you can go to Open Existing Project, and there's your saved projects. And just click on it, open, and you can continue where you left off.
Fantastic, thank you.
Yeah.
Can you make the text a particular color?
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
Inside of your panel, you will see that there's a text color option. Yes, Kelly.
Okay. Well, and a second question, can you wrap the text around an image? So supposing you have 2 ovals on a page, can you wrap text around, or can you embed the oval into the text and it wraps around?
Yes, ma'am.
You can.
There is, on the panel, there is an option where you can actually do the text wrapping. And if you drag it in, and it will go around the image here.
Great. Yeah. Okay. Thanks. Wonderful demonstration. Thank you.
It's a pleasure.
Okay, thanks. Just want to ask you, Angela, if you could just very quickly just give me those steps to edit in Command. You know, where you had the filters, where you can actually filter it once it's in the book.
Oh, okay. You mean the edit with using photos again?
Yeah. Yes. Using in the ORMS book, right, where you could change the filter as you showed.
Okay, perfect. So, guys, I actually did it a bit of a long way around, just to show you guys that you can edit with using an external editor. First thing is that when you're in your book, right, the reason why I didn't show it first time around, because I was so excited to show you guys first the design side of things. But whenever I start off my application or when I install it, the first thing I do is I go to create and print preferences and I choose my external picture editor, right? So after you've
it could be anything, right, Ange? It could be Photoshop, it could be Pixelmator, it could be Photos.
Lightroom.
Lightroom, you can use any external editor for that purpose. So now, if you're on a particular image, right, guys, if it is for basic changes like making it black and white, sepia, and so on, then you can just select the image, go to your panel on the right-hand side, and you can, there are other options as well besides vignette and so on. You can auto enhance, you can change the mode to black and white, to sepia, and so on in the book. However, if you want to take it a step further, you maybe want to, the type of colors is not working for you as what they are giving you, then you can do a secondary click now, because remember that option that you've chosen there in your preferences. Now you can just go to open external picture editor, which will then take you to the application. And now you can, the one thing, it doesn't take you straight to the photo. So you have to go to that photo that you were working on, and now you can make your edit from there. That's going to give you more tools and to work with, you know. So that's basically the options that you have in terms of editing right within the book. Hope that helps.
Thanks very much.
Bernard, you are next.
Yeah, just a quick question. Being for printing, I suppose the resolution would be 300 dpi, and would there be a maximum file size that you can send to ORMS? Because it's going to be quite a big file.
They go up to 100 pages. The last time a client went, we did a photo book of up to 100 pages. And she took very high resolution photos, and it came out stunningly well. She also did the whole linen cover. It's the first time I've actually seen the things printed on linen as a cover. And all I just gave it 10 thumbs up for the quality, Bernard. You will be very impressed. And I think ORMS will actually give you you can actually check out what the photo books look like. They have different books as a preview. When you go there, you can check it out. You will love it. Trust me, every penny worth paying for those books.
Nice presentation, Angelo. Thank you very much.
No, it's a pleasure.
Beautifully done, Ange.
Sure.
Really nice.
If you guys need any help, and you just give me a shout. I also do it as a training session. I've helped about 4 or 5 different, no, I lied, 3 or 4 clients with their photo books. Everybody happy.
Sorry, Angelo, one last question.
Sure.
With DigiCape, obviously possible to come in and just focus on one particular subject and have one-on-one training as well?
Yes, sir. The options is on my website, but what I'll do is I'll email you everything right after our session, Melvin.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. Yes, sir.
Well, thanks everybody for joining us once again. Have a nice warm weekend. Be safe, and we look forward to seeing you on Monday.
Likewise, thank you.
Okay. Good to see you guys.
Great, lovely. Thanks,
Brilliant. Thank you.
lovely
Thank you.
session.
Take care,
Bye.
everybody.
Bye-bye.